There are reports of an acute oxygen crisis in Goa, and this has reportedly led to a spike in fatalities. The state government appears overwhelmed, governance slipping. 13 COVID-positive patients have died at the Goa Medical College, and this happened between 2 and 6 a.m. due to a drop in oxygen levels. Sadly, no lessons learnt from past. Hospital officials claim there is a logistics issue. But amidst this crisis, the police and security guards tried to stop the India Today crew from bringing out this ground reality. The hospital has been in the line of fire and in the news for all the wrong reasons this week. On Tuesday, 26 patients lost their lives. On Wednesday, 20 patients lost their lives, and yesterday 15 more died due to oxygen shortage. The government appointed inquiry panel to probe the oxygen supply issue is presently investigating the matter.
Sir, 13 patients have died today, sir. Sir, 13 patients and regularly patients are dying. Sir, small, sir. Sir, how are patients dying? Sir, 13 patients have died today, sir. Sir, 13 patients and regularly patients are dying. Sir, small, sir. Sir, how are patients dying? Once again, 13 people have lost their life inside the Goa Medical College Hospital. Even today, between 2 a.m. to 6 a.m., over 13 coronavirus patients have died inside this Goa Medical College Hospital. Here in the visuals you can see we are trying to show the reality. India Today is continuously showing the reality of this Goa Medical College Hospital, but the officials are not letting us in. They have called the police officials. You can see there are the officials from the hospital, there are the police officials of the Goa police, there are the private security guards. We are continuously trying to show the reality, but they are not allowing us. They are telling us to go out from this particular hospital. The most important thing is that proper oxygen supply to the COVID ward is not happening. Here in the visuals you can see no proper infrastructure. The cylinders are being loaded in this particular trolleys, and through these trolleys there are few tractors, and through tractors this oxygen cylinders are taken to the particular room wherein from this oxygen is supplied to the COVID ward. But during that period, due to logistic issue, there is no proper medical infrastructure. The oxygen level suddenly drops, and for the last 4 days, so many patients are continuously dying. It is high time that the Goa government and the officials learns lesson and save people's life. With camera person Samir Shanbag, this is Saurav Vaktania in Goa for India Today.
And with cases rising across Goa, there are no beds available for COVID-19 patients. The situation is such that people are actually waiting on the floor, waiting for doctors, nurses, and medical attention.
COVID patients lying on the floor at the Goa Medical College. There are no beds here. Look towards the left or the right and all you will see are hapless patients. As the state witnesses a big spike in cases, these images show the sorry state of the health infrastructure. They are everywhere, on the right and left, in what reflects the crumbling medical infrastructure of the state.
One of the most famous destinations for holidaying, not just in India but also abroad, Goa is facing deadly coronavirus. The cases are much high and the death ratio is continuously increasing. The positivity rate is over 50%, while the recovery rate is just 70%. Now we are right now present outside Goa Medical College Hospital, and the conditions over here are extremely bad. We have seen the video inside the hospital where how patients are lying on floors. They are not getting proper beds. There are no equipments. Patients' relatives are present inside, and such horrific visuals are coming out from this medical college.
The hospital has recorded dozens of deaths. The highest was on May 11 when 26 people died, allegedly due to the lack of oxygen. The kin of the deceased allege that the oxygen supply at the hospital is a big problem.
कोई तो उन पर रोशनी डालो, इन लोगों को, गोवा के लोगों को बचा लो सर। मेरा इतना ही आपको रिक्वेस्ट है सर, प्लीज। आज मेरे जीजा जी के साथ हुआ होगा और किसी के साथ नहीं होना चाहिए सर।
कामली जी, हम लोग हालात समझ सकते हैं और हम लोग आज तक और इंडिया टुडे पर ये सच्चाई जरूर दिखाएंगे कि आप रोइए नहीं, आप अपना ध्यान रखिए।
सर मेरे सामने मेरे जीजा जी का अंत हो गया सर, लेकिन मैं कुछ नहीं कर सका। मैं बाहर से ऑक्सीजन लेके आया था सर। मैं बाहर से किसके पास से भीख मांग के ऑक्सीजन का सिलेंडर लाया, लेकिन बहुत टाइम हुआ था सर, बहुत टाइम हुआ था।
We are trying to give you the exact visuals from where this oxygen is loaded inside the hospital. Now here in the visuals you can see, these are the trolleys. These trolleys have several oxygen cylinders. They are brought over here through the tractors and through trucks, and then this oxygen is supplied into the hospital. Now it has been alleged that the oxygen levels drop while refueling it. Here in the visuals you can see the air pressure cannot be maintained. That is the huge allegations which has been made, and this is the logistical issue due to which the oxygen air pressure is not being maintained, and this is the reason why the oxygen does not reach to the patient. The oxygen level suddenly drops, and it has been said at third and the fourth level where the COVID patients are admitted, their oxygen cannot supply, and the oxygen supply breaks down for 3 to 4 times in the midnight.
In fact, at this hospital in the capital Panaji, the patients are allegedly left to fend for themselves as doctors do not attend them regularly. The deaths and medical apathy in Goa has also triggered a political war, with Goa Forward Party filing a criminal case against Goa CM, Chief Secretary and the nodal officer.
We had thought that state would file complaints by taking suo motu cognizance, which has not happened. So it's the duty of the party who wants to protect our people that accountability needs to be fixed. So we have filed a complaint. Now it's time for the police to act, because there are incidents I know wherein NGOs and certain political parties have given oxygen cylinders to even police officers who are suffering due to COVID. So government cannot even protect their own police officers. This is the current state of affairs in the Goa.
From 5% positivity rate in March to 51% now, Goa is battling a major COVID surge. The state's health sector is crumbling, with people dying for the want of oxygen and medical attention. With Saurav Akhtania in Panaji, Bureau Report, India Today.
And from Goa, let me take you to Karnataka. Bengaluru was once known to have perhaps amongst the best healthcare facilities in our country. But this COVID crisis has busted that claim. People are crying for a hospital bed, not just in Bengaluru, but in several parts of Karnataka. And yet, not much is being done to ensure that the existing facilities are augmented with oxygen supply to improve what's already existing. The slow pace of development of facilities is now extremely glaring. Now, this center that you see on your television screen on the old Madras Road was supposed to be a diabetes hospital. Government intends to turn it around into a COVID facility. It's been over 2 months. The facilities have still not been souped up for the current situation.
The bed allocation in Bengaluru is still a chaotic affair. The BBMP is trying to manage it and come out with more clarity on how people can access it. I have with me MP from Bengaluru Central, PC Mohan, joining us. Mr. Mohan, here's Bengaluru, which is a matter of concern. People are running around helter-skelter to find a bed. Many of them not even attempting because they are already declaring there are no beds. Well, many hospitals do have beds. It seems like the agents are working faster than the BBMP itself.
State government and the BBMP are working together now, and our in-charge minister for East Zone, Sri Somanna, has come for the inspection today in East Zone. Even the cases also are coming down because a lot of people also are not coming out much after the lockdown. Government is doing all the efforts, and BBMP good coordination is there. Especially now the Chief Minister also has made a new task force with different in charges. For oxygen, one minister is there. For bed allocation, one minister is there. Then for every for remdesivir and medicines, one minister. So all the ministers are working very hard day and night. So things are improving in Bangalore. Even you can see also where cases were 23-24,000. Now it has come down to almost 16 to 17,000, and now with the lockdown effect, it should come down gradually. It will start decreasing now from here afterwards.
Myself was a medical education minister. I know more than 60 colleges are here. There are so many beds. If you give them proper opportunity, proper facilities, give them money, they can manage them. Definitely they will cooperate. People, they wanted to help. There are a lot of, we suggested, you bring the doctors, appoint the young doctors. There are more than 500 nursing colleges are there. You can make use of them. But government doesn't have basic common sense.
People in Bengaluru are crying help to find beds. At a time like that, we see huge facilities like this in Bengaluru. I'm right at the C.V. Raman Nagar Vivekananda Metro Station Center. Right next to it, there's a huge hospital that's been built, and they plan to convert it into a COVID facility. But it doesn't look like it will be up and running anytime soon. We see people crying for help, waiting for beds. In fact, paying exorbitant prices to find a government bed or a private hospital bed. And you have facilities like this that are waiting to be revamped as a COVID facility, and it's taking quite some time. Doesn't seem like it's going to be up and running anytime soon. Considering that scientists of the IISc have said that Bengaluru or Karnataka might see a peak post the 17th of May. We might see a lot more people rushing to find beds. Will this facility or the center be up and running by then? I highly doubt. We're hoping that Karnataka government picks up pace. These facilities can be turned around quickly, but it seems like some sort of official delays are taking place right now.
Now, the government in Karnataka insists that they're taking steps to help ease this pressure and for patients to get access to appropriate COVID treatment, especially in Bengaluru. The civic body, the BBMP, the Bruhat Bengaluru Mahanagar Palike, they've announced that triage centers would be set up and they would begin operations across 28 constituencies within the city limits. Now, these centers will have walk-in facilities where any patient can come, get themselves checked, and then, depending on the need, move to either the attached COVID centers or move to a hospital. Now, this process is to determine whether patients need either home isolation, stabilization centers, or hospital, and if so, if they require a hospital, is it with or without oxygen and ventilators?
We are working on our core strength of working with the people, with the community at the local level. And we are basically concentrating on that. And I'm sure that in the coming days, this would help us a great deal. As far as the cases that require hospitalization or they get aggravated, I'm sure there are mechanisms by which we can admit them. As of now, what is happening is that people are getting reported late, and so therefore the situation has worsened. So therefore the people are coming only in the final stages of ICU, etc. If we are able to arrest that earlier, in that case, that will be helpful.
Karnataka government has opened triage centers across Bengaluru in 28 assembly constituencies. These 28 triage centers will act as a walk-in hospital for people who have COVID-like symptoms, people who are COVID positive. They will come here, firstly get their BP checked, and thermometer is already here, temperature checked, pulse oximeter is also here. They'll get the clear vitals checked, because there's a lot of fear among people as to they don't know what they have to do when they are positive. So they can walk into 28 such centers where they can consult a doctor. This is one such triage center in
Baswangudi Assembly constituency, there are 2 beds with oxygen concentrator that you are seeing here. And the doctors here will take a call if the patient needs admission into hospitals, or medicines will be enough for home isolation, or they need a bit of oxygen. They can come here, stay here for a day or 2, and then go back. And this is the first of the kind for the city itself that triage centers have opened, and it was inaugurated this morning. And the hope is that each day they will have at least 200 to 250 footfalls, where at least 150 of them who don't need hospitals can go back to the house for home isolation. But if not for this, the 150 would have ended up in private hospitals or in government hospitals, and that would have added burden, is what the government said. Now that it's opened, that they can take the load of the patients instead of sending them directly to the hospitals. Nagarjun Dwarkanath for India Today.
And the other big story we're tracking here on India Today, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has issued a stern warning to virus vultures. Prime Minister Modi was speaking on the COVID crisis. He highlighted how some people were trying to profit from the pandemic. The Prime Minister warned the virus vultures, saying those who indulge in black marketing of drugs or try to mint money in the country will face strict action. He urged states to crack the whip on such elements who are trying to make a profit during the pandemic.
इस संकट के समय में दवाइयां और जरूरी वस्तुओं की जमाखोरी और कालाबाजारी में भी कुछ लोग अपने निहित स्वार्थ के कारण लगे हुए हैं। मैं राज्य सरकारों से आग्रह करूंगा कि ऐसे लोगों पर कठोर से कठोर कार्रवाई की जाए। ये मानवता के खिलाफ का कृत्य है।
And as India battles our worst health crisis, a glimmer of hope comes to light in this fight against coronavirus. The data on your screen seems to indicate that the infection rate in India is slowing down. A reduction in the R value below 1 indicates that the infection is likely to spread slower than before. And even as we speak, data shows that India's R value has dropped to 0.98. It indicates that earlier it was 1.08 on the 5th of March, climbed to 1.56 in the 3rd week of April, and since the 3rd week of April, it's gradually coming down. R value indicates the number of people that one COVID-positive person can pass the infection on to, and it's now been below 1 in states like Maharashtra, Delhi, and Uttar Pradesh. White House Chief Medical Advisor Dr. Anthony Fauci has endorsed the extension of the gap between the first and the second dose of the Covishield vaccine by the Narendra Modi government. He says this is a reasonable approach adopted by India with cases soaring.
I would not refer to it as a cover-up. When you don't have enough vaccines, what you've got to do is try to get as many people vaccinated as you possibly can. And for that reason, when you have a shortage of vaccine, extending the duration between the first and the second dose in order to get more people to at least get a first dose is a reasonable approach. The fact that you delay it that long, it is very unlikely that it would have a negative effect on the efficacy of the vaccine. So in many respects, when you are in a very difficult situation, the way you are in India, you have to try and figure out ways to get as many vaccines into people as quickly as you can. So that, I believe, is a reasonable approach to do. I wouldn't call that a cover-up at all.